Hello YouTube, and welcome to another little vlog coming at you from Sterling, Virginia like usual. Today we're going to go over my R6. I'm thinking about maybe getting rid of it, freeing up some space in my garage. Let's go take a look. So as you can see, it looks pretty good from far away, but as we get closer we see some good things and we see some bad things. So first off, let's take a look at this dent in the tank here, right where the Yamaha logo is. It's hard to show. There's some scratches on the paint here, and there's a dent in the tank. So that's a bad thing there. We also got another dent down here, as you can see. Those would be the two dents in the tank, and of course the paint just not great. But the tank holds gas fine and it runs well. Over here you can see we got some stomp grips. Those work very well. They're very nice, and those are some things I added. You can see we got the stock clip-ons here. We've got maximum preload. I'm a pretty heavy guy, so we got maximum preload loaded up here. But these are the stock clip-ons. We got the stock clutch lever here. If we go over to the other side here of the triple tree, we can see one, we've got our Scott's steering dampener. That's pretty nice. Nothing wrong with that. It's an expensive unit, and it might not be too necessary for the street, but on the racetrack it can help you a lot. Although it's the kind of thing where you won't notice it doing anything, even though it's doing a whole lot for you. Over here you can see, maybe, we've got a Brembo brand master cylinder with a reservoir and all that. It's got pretty new brake fluid in there, I think from last year, 2019. It's got an adjustable brake lever, just not stock. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it's not stock. Again, we got the stock handlebar grips here. We got some bar end weights, which can help reduce the vibration a little bit. And that's pretty nice. So one thing you'll see on the body work here is some tape from place to place. The bodywork's been taken apart improperly by the previous owner, and I've just got to hold it together with some tape. There's some tape there, here, and then we got some more tape on the same spots on the other side. See there, and here, just to make sure everything holds together. Without the tape, it works pretty well up to about 120 miles an hour, but on the track it was flipping and flapping all around, so I taped it up and that was fine, past tech. Let's take a look at the steering here. If I zoom out a little, or if I step back a little, you can see the steering. It's gonna be kind of hard to do that with one hand, but the steering works good from stop to stop. The forks are straight. I had the bike inspected and looked over in October or November. Looks pretty good. On here we've got ourselves some Q3 plus tires, front and rear. Tread life is good. They're not the newest tires in the world, but as you can see, the tread is what we're looking for here. So next over here we got some frame sliders. You can see that the sliders have been ground down on both sides. The previous owner dropped it on the left at least, and I dropped it on the right twice. So this is not, the cleanest bike in the world. Down here we've got some Woodcraft rear sets. Those are set up with GP shift here, so it's shift up, press up to go down and down to go up. We've got ourselves a little, gold chain. Nothing special there. And like you see, we got some spools for the stand. Those have been ground down a little bit, but they still work. Over on this side, we got a Scorpion exhaust. Pretty rare item. It's not the loudest thing in the world, but it sounds pretty good. The spool on this side, as you can see on the right, actually looks pretty good. And as you can see, the frame slider there is a little ground down. So that's a basic overview of what we're looking at here. It's a nice looking bike from far away, but as you can see, when you get close, it's got some problems. But for the price, it's a runner. So let me just show you the bike It's very cold. I mean, I'm touching it right now. It's freezing cold. It hasn't been started in over a month because I've been out of the country. I was out of the country for over 3 weeks, and I've been back for 2 weeks, so I'd say about 6 weeks since I've started this bike. It's been on the battery tender, so it should start right up. Let's take a look. So we're gonna flip the key. And it does the Yamaha thing where sometimes the key doesn't like to go. It's gonna be kind of tough for me to do this with one hand. Twiddle there we go, see? You just gotta get the handlebars right in the right position. I'm gonna put the bike into neutral so you can see the neutral light does work. And I'm gonna flip on the switch and we're gonna start it. And as you can see, even after not being started for a month and a half, it instantly fires up. Instantly. Right here we got the coolant. Looks pretty good. No oil leaks or anything, so I'm confident in the oil levels. Exhaust feels good. We got good pressure coming out the back. Smells like it always smells, like good burning exhaust. So you can see it's not really leaking. Now we got some condensation coming out the back, if you can see that. That's normal. That's not smoke. That's just, you know, burning off all that condensation in the exhaust. When I get a little bit of temperature in here, I'll give it some revs just so you can hear the exhaust well. The seat's good, everything's good. Yeah, and another problem with this bike is the mirrors. I would suggest buying new OEM R6 mirrors or getting bar end mirrors. These are R1 mirrors. Sorry, these are R1 mirrors here. They stink. And like, look at this one, it's all broken. So, I would definitely do something about that. So let me get over here. As you can see, it's really got some white smoke coming out now. Totally normal. I mean, it's a cold day. It's about 42 degrees and it's very humid. All right, we're still low. Temperature still says low. Let's let it idle a little more before we rev her up a little bit. Yeah, you can see right here, like, it's a little, just doesn't look the best. Yeah, let's get you close so you can hear the ignition, or the, nothing really in the way of that Yamaha tick, which is great. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, we got temperature in the bike now, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's give it a little bit of revs. Let's focus this. Oh, it's not gonna focus. Yeah, it's the best I can do. So, as you can see, it sounds pretty good. And now after revving it, absolutely no smoke or any, you know, steam or whatever that is coming out. It just looks good. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I'm going to now make sure my tires are inflated since I haven't ran the bike in 6 weeks. I'm gonna go out and take it for a ride and you can come with me. All right guys, have a good one and I'll see you in part 2 of this video. All right guys, welcome to part 2 where we're gonna take this bike for a ride and do a little moto vlogging. This is for me kinda, just like the first part. I mean, I'm making this for the potential buyer or any potential buyers just to show them what's going on. See if they even have the patience to listen to all this crap. Because I am looking for a good buyer, so to speak, for this bike. I'm not a motivated seller. I'd like to get someone who maybe understands that this thing does have some value even though it's got a lot of problems. So we're going to go for a ride and I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and who I think would be a good buyer and who I think would maybe be someone who should potentially look at another style of bike, even if this is something they think is sexy and cool and all that. So let's go for a ride with my gloves on now. getting fully geared up. I got my helmet, jacket, gloves, pants, and boots on. Ready to go. I forgot my sunglasses, so I got to keep my visor down, but that's okay. My mirror, I don't know why I'm adjusting that. It's worthless. The left one is worth adjusting, though. So let's get going. So when I get my feet on the pegs, I immediately get some hip pain, so I stand up. See me standing up there. Just stretching out a little bit. You get used to it pretty quick, but yeah, you get some immediate hip pain. So now we're out of my neighborhood, moving around, showing a little riding. She's got some acceleration, as you can see. Even though I was barely giving it any throttle in first gear, she gets moving. I mean, you slip the clutch a little, give it some revs, and it's more than enough for for your basic, you know, round town commute. But that's not really what this bike is for now, is it? Round town. I'm gonna crack a beer here. As you know, I'm actually I don't do moto vlogging in the traditional way. I dub my vlogs. Ugh. So let's crack a beer. Look on the right here. Look on the right here. We got a bunch of cops at this jewelry store. I don't know what's going on. I think someone robbed that jewelry store. I don't know. And then we got a nice American flag. So yeah, let's continue on. So another issue with this bike is the turn signals. The turn signals work, but you have to hold down the switch. So look at my left hand here. I was holding that down, and then I let it go and press the button in just to make sure they cancel. Because heck, sometimes they do hold down. So you want to hold the button down to the left to turn left, and hold it to the right to turn right, and then when you're done, move it back to the center and hit cancel. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm not really sure what's wrong, to be perfectly honest, so I've never fixed it. It's really not that big of a deal to me, but it could be a big deal to you if you're, you know, very safety conscious. So that and the mirrors, I would say, are probably the biggest two mechanical issues with the bike. Obviously the mirrors, I've got mirror block off. Like if you don't want to use mirrors, I have mirror block offs that are really nice that'll give you with the bike. But if you want to use the mirrors, yeah, I would heavily suggest getting some new mirrors. Just the stock, either the stock R6 mirrors for 2005 if you can find them, or maybe some bar ends. Those would probably, if you flip the bar ends up, they'll probably do you a heck of a lot better than the mirrors on the bike now. As you can see, look at that droopy crap. It looks awful, and it's completely unfunctional. The left mirror works great, but the right one is just useless. So keep that in mind. And then the turn signal thing, like I said, you got to hold the turn signal down, which can be a real pain. But besides that, the bike itself rides great. I mean, you can see. So one of the reasons I'm making this vlog is for any of you who haven't seen my riding and seen my philosophy on bike ownership and bike riding. You can see basically the way I've treated this bike while it's been on the road. This is quite different to how I've treated the bike on the track. On the track, I ride it hard. I, you know, keep the revs high and lean it over and brake hard and yada yada yada. Well, I wouldn't say I brake hard, but I brake harder than I do on the street for the most part. And I lean pretty hard, and I keep the revs high and let the bike get, you know, nice and warm. But on the street, I kind of baby this bike on the street. I don't know why. It feels like so the ergonomics of this bike are very uncomfortable, especially with the rear sets on it. Excuse me. But that being said, the bike itself likes to be ridden kind of like I'm riding it right now, at a decent pace, but nothing crazy. Because if you want to start riding crazy, much beyond the pace I'm about to show you here, you really do want to, well, you want to maybe, you know, do the sign of the cross, because your chances of crashing are real if you make a mistake, or more likely if something unexpected happens. Like watch what happens here. So we're just cruising along. I'm doing my thing. This is about the pace I want to go, especially when it's, you know, less than 50 degrees out and the tires are nice and cold. Don't want to do anything too sudden or too dramatic. I'm riding along, and then all of a sudden, yeah, watch what happens. This car just stops. Just dead stops. Right in the middle of the road. And then this is the kind of crap you can expect around my area. It's just people, I would say they're sightseeing or some nonsense like that. I really don't know. But man, that's just, I mean, it's just irresponsible driving, if you ask me. Just stopping. So, as you can see, I get the person wide berth, and then I had to follow them for like 10, 15 minutes at this point. They're going so bloody slow that it's just unbelievable. I'm trying to, you know, zigzag, and you can see there I actually kind of took a strange line. Even though I was slingshotting, I took a strange line. That's because that turn was covered in gravel in the middle. I doubt you could really see it, but the entire middle of the road was just gravel. So the line I wanted to take, as you can see, was kind of like cut off. Almost like someone dive bombed me on the inside is the way I would think about it. So I just, whoop, go wide. And stay in my lane, but, you know, whoop, go wide. So my philosophy on riding, like, on these types of roads is, your lane is your road. You know what I mean? So that double yellow line signals like a cliff that's 50 feet wide, that's 50 feet high, and if you go over the double yellow, you drop off the cliff and die. That's, I mean, obviously that doesn't happen, but that's the way I like to think about it to keep myself, you know, safe out here on these twisty roads. Well, I wouldn't even say, yeah, I mean, on these twisty roads. And you can see, you'll see further ahead, I actually do make what I consider to be a pretty bad mistake. I don't cross the yellow line or do anything crazy or sudden, but I take a line that maybe I shouldn't have taken, and it becomes obvious. Maybe not in the moment, but when I watch it on the camera, I'm going, man, what was I thinking? And we'll come up to that, and I'll point it out when it happens. But yeah, this is a longer clip. We're going to follow me pretty much all the way through the quote-unquote twisty part here. Just to show you again, kind of, this is how I normally ride this bike. This is kind of what I think, not what it's capable of, but the kind of riding you can expect to do on it, how it handles lower speed, medium speeds, you know, that kind of thing, what it looks like. And if you don't want to know anything else, I think at this point I do show a clip at the end here where I accelerate to max speed, and that is at about is that about 22 minutes, maybe a little less. Something like that, maybe 21 minutes, 22 minutes. So yeah, if you skip ahead 4 minutes, you know, you can get there now. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me. If you're still sticking with me here and you're still interested in the bike, I'm not gonna say the price. I think I've said it. You know, my bare minimum. I'm willing. I'm starting at the price I think the bike is worth. And if you think it's worth less, to be honest, I don't know if I'm willing to get rid of it, because even after riding the bike, I am willing to sell it for the price I've quoted, but I'm not motivated at all to get rid of it for less. So with all the problems, with all the issues, this bike has been serviced. Okay, one more issue I should say is that the bike does not have an inspection, and you're probably not going to be able to get one. So unless you know somebody, you know, because the rear sets and everything with the turn signals and just the way the bike is set up, it's gonna need a little bit of minor work to get an inspection. Just put it that way. You might have to put some turn signals on it, or I mean, the turn signals work. It's just that they're the integrated turn signals in the back, and they're the flush turn signals in the front. So they're kind of hard to see. Honestly, you're not getting this kind of bike to be freaking, you know, Tommy Lawbiter here. You know, you don't need a safety inspection to register, but you can get pulled over and you can get a ticket. I have gotten a ticket for this bike on no safety inspection once. It is what it is. It really hasn't bothered me, and I'm just going to keep it this way. I think it was last inspected in 2014, which is well before I bought it. I bought it in So I'd have to look at the title. I actually have not looked at the title in a while. But, yeah, I mean, it's my title and my name and everything, but I just can't remember exactly when I bought it. Or the exact odometer reading. I want to say it had either 16 or 18,000 miles when I bought it. And now it's got a little over, I can't remember the exact number. I think it's like 28,200 and change. Yeah, I think at this point it's like 28,200 like 10, 20, something like that. Maybe you can see on the screen. I can't see because my screen is small as I'm doing this dub. But yeah, I mean, I put a lot of miles on this bike, and to be fair, it has had a couple mechanical issues. Well, it's had one. It's had one mechanical issue. And that was, okay, it's had two. When I first bought the bike, it wasn't ready yet because they needed to replace the swing arm. So the swing arm has been replaced. It's not the stock swing arm, although it's a stock R6 swing arm. The previous owner did crash it, and but I put, again, if something bad happened to this bike, I've put over 10,000 miles on it, and there's been no problems. I haven't dropped it. It's been like a year and a half or 2 years since I dropped the bike. I only did it when I was new. I was a bad rider. What can I say? I've gotten a lot better. I mean, you can see with the way I'm riding, I'm pretty smooth now and cautious and all that stuff. But I wasn't so much before. So that's all I can really say. The only other mechanical issue is that the bike has 4 new coils. It's got 4 new ignition coil packs. Because it was not firing right on all the coils. It was only firing on like 3 cylinders for a little while. At this point, I'm going to shut up for a second and let the sound of the bike do a little bit of the talking. I'm not accelerating at full throttle. I just don't have the room or the balls to do it on the street, so... That's just about redline. Just kind of to prove, you know, that it can do it. It can go to redline, and it'll go to redline in, you know, pretty much every gear if you have enough road ahead of you and enough. I mean, I could have gone really, really fast, but I don't want to get a ticket or lose my license or get the bike taken away. So I just, you know, go up to about 65 miles an hour in first. I think it does about 67 before it hits the rev limiter. And finally here, we got one more clip, which is just for fun. A little bit of road rage on my part. I get a little upset at a guy who doesn't use a stop sign correctly. Kind of funny, but this is as upset as I'll get. So I start going. It's like, yeah, it's my turn. Like, very clearly. And that guy's just like, what? No, I'm going to go instead. So I kind of pull up behind him. And that's really about it. Alright guys, have a good day. Think about your riding, and please let me know. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything about the bike, and I will do my best to answer or respond to your comments. Alright guys, have a great day.